The Faculty of Social Sciences is proud to celebrate and showcase its top achievers for the academic year of 2020-2021. Welcome to our virtual ceremony. Please join us in recognizing our 2020-2021 awardees. Today, we celebrate our FSS students who have risen above the challenges despite the pandemic and have excelled academically. Today, we salute you. We salute your dedication. We salute your perseverance and all your hard work. As you venture to the next chapter in your life, we would like to impart words of encouragement for your continued successes. We have in store for you some words of encouragement from our invited keynote. Ethne Miller-Simpson is a learning architect, branding specialist, and global speaker who has successfully, for over 25 years, built human capital through her delivery at 2 corporate universities in Jamaica. She's also responsible for branding and strategic programs focused on workforce development, the economic empowerment of women regionally, and small and medium-sized enterprises capacity building. Ethne is a fellow of the Fortune U.S. State Department Global Women's Mentoring Program, the Cherie Blair Foundation, and is a Clinton Global Initiative panelist. She is the Chief Growth Officer and CEO of Synergy International, focused on branding people, education, technology products, and services. She serves as the Country Manager for Farm Crowdy Jamaica, President of the Women Entrepreneurs Network of the Caribbean, and Secretary of the U.S. Embassy Alumni Board. In addition, Mrs. Miller-Simpson is a mentor with the LASCO Masterclass of Teachers, a board member of the Mentorship Association of Jamaica, the UTech Master in Science in Workforce Training Education, and the Human Resource Development Program here at the University of the West Indies, Mona campus. Her passion for advancing the economic empowerment of women has her recently added to the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries Capacity Building Working Group focused on the implementation of the entrepreneurship policy in Jamaica, as well as the National Competitiveness Council of Jamaica. Additionally, Ethne has a keen interest in credit repair, helping women's businesses become more bankable, and ultimately helping women earn and keep more of their earnings through the recently launched Win-Win Community Banking Project with the Women's Entrepreneurs Network of the Caribbean. Her love of agriculture started as a child and has her now launching the Small Business Exchange, a social enterprise that will connect rural women in agriculture with international markets. Ethne is a proud member of the Women's Leadership Initiative with special interest in the Advocacy Committee. Ethne loves traveling and meeting people of all cultures, music of all types, and of course, dancing. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Ethne Miller-Simpson.
Happy New Year, everyone. Is it still okay to say Happy New Year? Well, I'll be saying Happy New Year for the rest of 2022. Thanks to the Faculty of Social Sciences, UWI-MONA, for inviting me to share my thoughts on how to remain relevant and viable in today's society. The approach I'm taking to this conversation is a very simple one. We're answering 3 questions. First, what is the context of today's society? What exactly is happening in our society? And 2, why is relevance and viability even necessary? 3, how do you remain viable and relevant and ultimately persevere in our society? So let's take the first question. What shape is our society in? The main market challenges in Jamaica include crime and corruption as our first issue. Both remain significant concerns in Jamaica, with the security measures associated with crime adding considerably to the cost of doing business. The Jamaican judicial system has a long tradition of being fair, but court cases can take years or even decades to resolve. Streamlining the delivery of judgments would bring greater levels of efficiency to court administration and targeting throughput rates in line with international best practice within 5 years. A second issue we need to be aware of in terms of our society is taxation and taxes. In spite of trade liberalization, which has made it easier to import into Jamaica, some technical barriers, particularly sanitary and phytosanitary restrictions, remain. This, of course, affects our entrepreneurs and the business sector, with some goods imported from outside CARICOM being subject to a common external tariff. Goods certified to be of CARICOM origin tend to enjoy duty-free status and are not subject to customs duty. So you may be asking yourself at this point, what does that have to do with me? Let's go a little bit further. A third market challenge has to do with high electricity cost. Is that affecting you now? This affects not only business people, but every single person in Jamaica. High electricity cost is also a major impediment for business and increasingly regular citizens such as us. Although Jamaica has modernized and diversified its generation structure, the country has reduced its dependency on petroleum, shifting to LNG and renewables. Just remember I mentioned that. We will come back to it. On the social front in Jamaica, there are 5 challenges that are affecting us as well. Crime rate is actually number 1 again, and I previously mentioned that. 2, poverty. 3, education. 4, unemployment. And 5, poor health. These issues affect graduates who are just emerging into the world of work, where prime jobs commensurate with a recently completed rigor of study and expensive study are sometimes mutually exclusive. This poses quite a conundrum, as many ask, how can I be seen as relevant and viable? Hence our second question, why is it necessary to be even relevant and viable? Why can't I just leave the university? I did my work, I have now graduated, I've done everything that I was supposed to do, so I should be able to just pick up the job that I want. Is that how it works? Not entirely, and certainly not for everyone. Something that is relevant is appropriate to the current time, period, or circumstances, or is of contemporary interest. Let me repeat. Something that is relevant is appropriate to the current time. So if you're trying to be relevant, you must be appropriate to the current time, period, or circumstances, or of contemporary interest. What exactly is the definition of viability, you ask? Viability speaks to your capacity of surviving or living successfully, especially under particular environmental conditions. So the simple answer is, with so many qualified candidates seeking the same opportunities in the same marketplace, each of you need to be appropriate to the current time or time period or circumstances, and certainly you must be of contemporary interest. So let us say, for example, I graduated from the University of the West Indies 15, 20 years ago. How would I reshape my resume? How would I reshape my experiences to ensure that they're applicable to the current time? And even if you graduated 5 years ago, the world today is not the same as it was 5 years ago. Secondly, you need to demonstrate your capacity of surviving and living successfully, especially under particular environmental conditions. And I can say without any apology that the conditions that we're living through today are certainly different from what many of us started out with 5 years ago, or even 4 or 3 years ago. We are now in COVID for a 3rd year. And sadly to say, there does not seem to be any end in sight. Changes are going to happen, so we have to change as well. So what this means is that we have to be now relevant to the time. We have to now be viable based on our capacity to survive or to live successfully. Another question that comes automatically from this topic is, how do you achieve this relevance and viability, especially at a time like this? How do you show you are up to the time of contemporary interest? How do you show you are capable of living and surviving successfully in these COVID times? What's the secret to staying relevant and viable in 2022 and beyond? I suggest that there are two things, maybe even three, but let me start with two. Those two things I would strongly recommend are: one, being informed, and two, being connected to those around you. My third that I would throw in is probably becoming an entrepreneur. But for some of us, we will not work in our own business. We might go and work for someone else. So you might actually have the title of being an intrapreneur, not an entrepreneur. But we can talk about that some other time. So the two things I strongly recommend for us to remain viable and relevant would be: one, being informed, and two, being connected to those around you. So let's break these out a little bit more. In order to accomplish this, the first thing I recommend here is to be a continuous learner. Continuous learners are willing to fail in order to learn. Sounds a little hard, but it's actually true. Many of us who see ourselves as learning architects and continuous learners, we have little or no issue with failure because you'd have put in some checks and balances that would help you, if you happen to fall, minimize the bruises that you get, if any at all. As Mark Zuckerberg once said, in a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. Steve Jobs and Walt Disney are two entrepreneurs I can cite who took risks but failed multiple times before achieving their legacy as winners in the world of business. Take, for example, J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter. She failed quite a few times before she hit it big. So don't expect failure not to hurt. Similar to losing a child, which is a very tough experience to go through. Failure comes in different shapes, forms, different degrees. And you can expect that once you step out into the world of work, into this large world that many of us were not given any manuscript to navigate, you will fail. But over time, you will learn to fail less. Eventually, you'll realize the pressure to find success has been replaced by the freedom to begin again. Learning from your mistakes makes you less afraid of certainty. Just don't make the same mistake twice. Pay attention. I love to say this when I'm sharing these thoughts with students, because many of us, when we leave the university, we think that we have read for a degree and we shouldn't have to read anything ever again. Doesn't work. So pay attention, read everything you can, so you know what is really happening in the society. Consume as much information, whether through traditional media, my favorite is Bloomberg and CNN, or Caribbean media. And I want to throw in with a caution here, social media, reputable social media. So you are seeing the shifts before they happen. Pay attention to everything, listen to everything. Pay attention to the news, talk to persons in the industries that you have an interest in so that they can share nuggets of opportunity with you. This inherently means you cannot operate outside of the structure. You kind of do have to just jump in. You must be inside the Coliseum. You have to be in the arena. You have to be able to hear the roar of the crowds and the silence of the gladiator. Get engaged. The second tip I want to share is innovation. Use the education and the skill set you have to find opportunities among the challenges. Now, earlier, when I was going through our market information, I did say that you needed to pay attention to some of the challenges I was pointing out in terms of Jamaican society and even the global situation that we're living in. As I was reading through some of those challenges, I wondered how many of you started thinking of, I wonder if I could come up with a solution for that. So for example, what can you design to combat any of the challenges outlined above in healthcare, in education, in our justice system? Can you help to restructure our economy so that we are less dependent on tourism? or fossil fuel, so our electricity costs could actually go down. Who would find the greatest value in your ideas? Have you thought of that? If you really came up with that solution, who would pay the most to have access to that information? Who could you sell it to or promote your ideas to? And how do you get access to those persons? This brings me to my third tip, the power of your network. Are you still using 6 degrees of separation to get things done? I will go so far as to tell you that the 6 degrees has now shifted down to about 2 to 3 degrees. If you cannot pick up your phone and get access to the person that you need to speak with within 2 phone calls or 2 emails or 3 emails, you need to take a long, hard look at your network. Fourthly, recognize that learning is not a solo exercise. This you might have been able to do when you were at the university. You could study by yourself and pass all your exams in the last 3 years or 4 years. But now that you're entering this world of work and business, appreciate that two-way relationships are crucial, since helping others to learn is a prerequisite to self-learning. Put aside your biases and ego to more effectively learn from others. And my fifth tip is simply this: build a portfolio of experiences. All your days at UA, you would have collected information, you'd have collected, cultural experiences, political experiences, social experiences. Use those experiences to your benefit. So build a portfolio of these experiences, which should be both deep and broad. Accumulating experience in a specific skill improves your performance, but at a decreasing rate. Variety is more productive. If tasks are related, knowledge transfers from one area to another, and becomes a learning accelerator. So my challenge to you is to become a learning accelerator by having a variety of these experiences that will be valuable to someone. Use both specialization and variety as powerful learning tools. So let's look back at the challenges we cited at the start of this conversation. Challenges that we have in our society. But I want you to now look back at these challenges with new eyes, a new lens. Can you find a career opportunity in the stumbling health sector that we have? Is there an innovation you can come up with, as I said before, for our court system? How informed are you? Are you so informed about the different issues and areas and things happening in your industry that you can quickly say, you know what, I could fix that, and here is how. Using 2 degrees of separation armed with your new idea, who do you need access to that you could pitch your idea to the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice, the head of the SRC? So the question is, how connected are you? So just remember, if you forget everything else I've said, the 2 things that make you more relevant and more viable are how informed are you and how connected are you? Living in today's learning economy and ever-changing society means that all of us must approach learning with 4 mindsets. 4 mindsets: focused, fast, frequent, and flexible. Let me say that again. The 4 mindsets that you need to have are focused, fast, frequent, and flexible. Learning must never end, and anyone can master the process. Don't be your own worst enemy and be too busy or lose the will to learn. Learning is the only way to stay relevant. Reinvent yourself regularly and thrive today. Thank you.
Honors Society Level 1 inductees: Sedena Archibald, Nicolette Bartley, Aliyah Bennett, Anastasia Blake, Crystal Booth, Rachel Bradshaw, Shaniel Brown, Casey Campbell, Kimberly Campbell, Sheree Campbell, Tanique Clark, Latonya Clayton, Izande Condell, Daniel Duhaney, Kinshasa Dobson, Alea Durant, Michaela Fellows, Matthew Fisher, Chevelle Flynn, Ryan Franklin, Jamie Grant, Romay Grant, Andre Green, Brittany Grove, Brianna Harrison, Winston Harrison, Marisha K. Josephs, Jodine Carr, Cheyenne Laidlaw, Shantae Lawrence, Shanoy Lee, Jessica Lee, Shalik Lindo, Tanara Lindsay, Carsonia Marsh, Noelia Marie Mason, Stephen McFarlane, Shannalee Morgan, Ashay Mullings, Andre Nelson, Levion Nemhard, Shanicia Osborne, Jada Palmer, Monica Palmer, Antoinette Park, Shaquille Ricketts, Akira Salmon, Tatiana Sr., Rashida Sims, Adria Skeffrey, Kimea Sterling, Kimberly Stewart, Ramiz Thorpe, Alea Watson, Policia Williams, Serena Williams, Alea Young. Honor Society Level 2 inductees: Monique Barrett, Renee Bartley, Kayla Bent, Randon Blake, Jada Brown, Shakika Budu, Rashane Halvert, Brittany Clark, Patrice Clayton, Alia Davy, Alyssa Durant, Crystal Gale, Jade Hanson, Nikira Harvey, Tashay Johnson, Dadrian Lewis, Kimani McCarthy, Brianna McGregor, Makita McLegon, Ashley Mercurius, Beyonce Mullings, Livia Sanderson, Shikia Stevens, Kadian Taylor, Rory Thomas, Yuan Vassal, Daniel Williams, Adrielle Yankee, we will now announce the 2020-2021 Faculty of Social Sciences First Class Honors Awards. Shaniel Allen, Chevelle Atherley, Ashira Baron, Shanique Bartlett, Corey Beeson, Jada Beckford, Jomar Bennett, Kalia Blake, Ashley Boyne, Christopher Brathwaite, Brian Brown, Brittany Ann Brown, Shanice Brown, Teresa Brown, Justin Burke, Janelle Butt, Javanae Campbell, Antonika Clark, Savannah Clark, Deidre Ann Cole, Deshaun Cook, Dejanay Cross, Bianca Dale, Isabel Daly, Himani Danvers, Khadidra Dennis, Shanique Deslandes, Enrique Douglas, Nicholas Dowse, Camp Edwards, Derek Ellis, Anastasia Fraser, Akeelia Freeman, Chevelle Fullerton, Sulan Fong, Sashana Gardner, Shalene Gaynor, Sydney Gaynor, Natoya Golding, Juwayne Gordon, Siobhan Gordon, Kashina Graham, Chanel Graham, Kelissa Grant, Shania Ann Gray, Ashley Ann Greenfield, Regina Griffith, Ashley Griffiths, Curtis Harper, Javier Harris, Tashika Hart, Aldith Hazard, Shanoya Henriquez, Kayla Henry, Zidane Henry, Bobette Hewitt, Brianna Haywood, Brianne Houston, Alton Howard, Chiana Hyde, Alea Innes, Tanisha Jack, Trudy Ann Jackson Carr, Jody Ann Jarrett, Tracy Ann Jarrett, Priyanka Jobson, Anika Johnson, Kerona Johnson, Shanique Johnson, Brianna Lang, Schneider Lee, Cassian Lewis, Andre Lee, Makeda Lindsay, Shanae Malcolm, Kalia Marner, Ashley Martin, Kishana McCain, Chevelle Mackenzie, Selena Miller, Sandy Miller, Shanice Morrison, Lori K. Miles, Abby Jane Nevers, Kenyana Northover, Zalika O'Connor, Ranika Orr, Ainsley Pagan, Andrea Pink, Sahara Pinnock, Chrisney Portius, Raquel Prevail, Sarah Dean Prince, Shantoy Price, Tonian Ragbear, Grace Reynolds, Khadijah Ricketts, Camille Ritchie, Sharifa Robinson, Garfield Ross, Shanice Samuels, Janelle Saunders, Sabrine Saeed, Kingsley Shea, Rochelle Simpson, Azania Smith, Tavel Smith, Kirita Smith, Makeda Smith, Ricardo Smith, Shakiba Smith, Stephanie Snaggs, Shanice Solomon, Sibia Spalding, Alexia Speed, Moya Spencer, Tassani Steinbergen, Nataskia Stewart, Chanel Stewart, O'Neill Taylor, Tony Ann Taylor, Keon Thomas, Alicia Terrell, Adia Watson, Quankera Wheatle, Tia Whitmore, Dana Wilson, Natalia Wilson, Rochelle Wilson, Noel Young,
We will now announce the 2020-2021 Faculty of Social Sciences Graduate Awards. Graduate Distinction Awards. Shane Bennett, Kimani Blanchard, Nicola Boyd, Rayon Cameron, Anthony Clark, Melissa Foster, Anake Hall, Shamar Hall, Danielle Purcell, Jodianne Robinson, Victoria Angus White, Ika Bailey, O'Dane Brooks, Denise Brown, Krishan Channa, Victor Delavode, Kerry-Ann Drummond, Faith Graham, Juliet Kermel, Amin Said, Norton Ware, Kadia Allen, Choanne Bailey Kidd, Noel Beckford, Shane Black, Cardell Bodie, Alicia Brown Smalling, Shaniel Bryan, Michelle Edwards, Rashidia Grant, Tamar Greaves Sharma, Garwayne Griffiths, Antonio Hall, Petronicia Harris, Jodianne Henry, Romario Holtham, Therese Ann Jory, Rwanda Kennedy, Luther King, Chevon Lewis, Rochelle Lewis, Gishard Lloyd, Joelle Lodenquai, Snyder Mbasi, Michael McPherson, Nicola Mendez, Kadian Newby Douglas, Kamala Nicholson Johnson, Nadine Notice, Sarah Oban, Stephen Richards, Janelle Ricketts, Shannon Robinson, Ruthann Roll, O'Neill Samuels, Javed Smith, Jonathan Smith, Saifa Sonron, Denisha Stewart, Kelsey Taylor, Chrisanne Taylor, Jaron Thomas, Brian Thompson, Eulalie Thompson, Helena Thompson, Keisha Tracy, Kristen Trowers, Marianne Wellington, Alicia Williams, Stacey-Ann Williams, Saron Wilson, Keenan Falconer, Hezekiah Hall, Donette Henry, Khalifa Julian, Onika Young, Andrea Allen, Antoinette Bell, Giovanni Bonito, Latanya Chambers Grant, Chanel Coates, Danielle Coward, Tremaine Ellis, Giselle Fraser, Debbie Harris, Novlette Harris, Giselle Johnson, Nicolette Jones, Sashage Lawson, Monique Linqui, Naja Mori, Navani Parnell, Natasha Reynolds, Colette Richards, Trishage Robinson, Nodian Simpson, Nicole Spike, Marsha Stevens, Daniela Skies, Chantal Walters, Belinda Ward,
We will now announce the 2020-2021 Course and Programs Awards. Crystal Booth, Maester Robinson, Natalia Wilson, Natalia Wilson, Monique Campbell, Sarah Pinnock, Shanielle Allen, Shanielle Allen, Ashira Baron, Anastasia Fraser, Chantal Henry, Felicia Miller, Sandy Miller, David Summon, David Summon, Cavell Volney Smith, Sibia Spaulding, Kinshasa Dobson, Janelle Dawkins, Zalika O'Connor, Danette Taylor, Sharmalee Anglin, Nicola Box, Brian Brown, Bianca Dale, Isabel Dolly, Brianna Haywood, Bobette Hewitt, Bobette Hewitt, Jodianne Jarrett, Adia Watson, Teresa Wiggum, Chanel Williams, Jody Ann Robinson, Jody Ann Robinson, Jody Ann Robinson, Melissa Foster, Melissa Foster, Paul Reed, Anthony Clark, Kerry-Ann Drummond, Denise Brown, Nadine Allen, Sean Bailey Kidd, Noel Beckford, Nicoyon Brown, Keisha Card, O'Neill Clark, Dexter Davis, Jodianne Ebanks, Ashley Elliott, Antonio Hall, Petronesia Harris, Teresha Harvey, Teresa Ann Jowry, Luther King, Cherie Lee, Nicole Lester Campbell, Rochelle Lewis, Siobhan Lewis, Tony K. Maduro, Snyder Mbaisi, Cecil McCullough, Roxelle McKenzie, Malik McPherson, Daniel Myrie, Simone Palmer Neal, Michelle Reed, Sheldon Rose, Marissa Rowe, Whitney Scarlett, Chris Ann Taylor, Kelsey Taylor, Jerron Thomas, Eulalie Thompson, Kimberly Mae Thompson, Kristen Trowers, Stacey Ann Williams, Alicia Williams, Alicia Wright, Damian Anglin, Chantal Artwell, Antoinette Bell, Giovanni Bonito, Anna K. Bromfield, Anna K. Bromfield, Donna Brown, Latanya Chambers Grant, Latanya Chambers Grant, Mitchell Cole, Daniel Coward, Philip Earl, Tremaine Ellis, Giselle Fraser, Lacey Grant, Novlet Harris, Giselle Johnson, Alani Lewis, Sophia Montague, Sabrina Ramdan, Trisha Gay Robinson, Trisha Gay Robinson, Nodian Simpson, Nicole Spike, Marsha Stevens, Marsha Stevens, Marsha Stevens, Marsha Stevens, Shireen Walker, Latoya Young, we will now announce the 2020-2021 Faculty of Social Sciences First Year Prize. Crystal Booth, we will now announce the 2020-2021 Faculty of Social Sciences Cross Campus Awards. Natalia Wilson,